Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore, RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news. There's a buzz swirling around the NFL that's got Ravens fans on edge and eager to see what could be one of the most impactful moves of the season. Word on the street is that the San Francisco 49ers might be open to trading Nick Bosa. And if that happens, it could reshape the landscape of the AFC North and, frankly, the entire conference. Now I know what some of you are thinking. What would this mean for Baltimore? Well, let me tell you, it could be a game changer, a true game changer, especially for a team that's been looking to boost its pass rush and tighten up its defense heading into the playoff push. So let's set the scene here. The 49ers, currently sitting at a 7-10 record, are in a bit of a rebuild mode. After a tough 2025 season, where they finished 7-10 themselves, and with a defense that's been giving up around 28 points per game, you can see why they're considering some major roster moves. Key injuries, like Bosa's knee injury in Week 5 that cost him 3 games, have definitely played a role in their struggles. They're looking to free up cap space, about $18 million from Bosa's deal, and prioritize rebuilding their offensive line, especially with a hefty $40 million cap hit in 2026. Meanwhile, the Ravens are sitting pretty with roughly $31.40 million in cap space, and they're eyeing a big push on the defensive line. After losing Majibuik to a season-ending neck injury, Baltimore's run defense has taken a hit, allowing 128 yards per game, which is not what you want to see when you're trying to make a playoff run. Now the whispers are that the 49ers might be willing to trade Bosa in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. That's a significant offer, especially considering Bosa's talent and impact. Since entering the league, Bosa has been a force of nature, accumulating 62 sacks and over 300 pressures in his career. His pass rush skills are elite, ranked 88, 4 by PFF in 2025 with a pressure rate of 23%. He's got the versatility to beat tackles with bend, power, and technique, and he's proven to be a game wrecker in big moments, including the playoffs. His 2025 stats include 9.5 sacks, 52 pressures, and a PFF overall grade of 87. 9, putting him among the top edge rushers in the league. His ability to generate QB hits, 18 in 13 games, and force turnovers makes him a perfect fit for a Ravens defense that's been seeking that extra push to elevate its game. But why would the 49ers consider parting ways with Bosa? Well, aside from their cap constraints and the desire to prioritize their offense, particularly their offensive line, they're also looking to rebuild their roster, especially after a season that didn't meet expectations. With a weak passing game, thanks to a PFF passing grade of just 64.8 and a defense leaking points and yards, they're trying to reset. Trading Bosa could bring in draft capital and help them accelerate their rebuild under Kyle Shanahan, especially with the team's focus shifting to developing their young quarterback and extending key players like Purdy. For Baltimore, adding Bosa would be a massive upgrade to the pass rush. Imagine the duo of Bosa and Odafe Oweh creating pressure from both edges. Opposing quarterbacks would have a nightmare trying to find time in the pocket. Looking at the numbers, Bosa's projected stats for the upcoming stretch include around 12 sacks, with an increased pressure rate of about 21%, up from 17%. His refined technique and ability to cut through the offensive line could lead to a significant reduction in yards allowed per game, going from 128 to around 95, and force more turnovers. The pairing with Justin Van Noy, who's been a steady contributor with 7 sacks, could be lethal. Van Noy's combined EPA per sack is around 20, and when paired with Bosa, you're looking at a defense that can turn up the heat and create chaos for even the best offenses. This potential move comes at a crucial time for the Ravens. They're sitting at a 9-8 record, just outside the playoff picture, but with the right additions, they could turn things around. The defense has been solid but inconsistent, particularly in the pass rush, which has been hampered by Majibuik's injury and the uncertainty at linebacker. Adding Bosa could be the missing piece, a true game wrecker who can change the course of games with his relentless pressure. It's no secret that Baltimore's defense has historically thrived when it has a dominant pass rush, and Bosa's arrival would elevate the unit to new heights. His ability to generate sacks, pressure, and turnovers would help the Ravens tighten up in critical moments, especially in the red zone. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The trade rumors have caused quite a stir, especially with the NFL trade deadline approaching on November 4th. The odds of Baltimore making a move have been climbing, with Vegas now listing their chances of winning the Super Bowl at +2-0 up from +4-500 earlier in the season. That's a significant shift, and it reflects the belief that adding a player like Bosa could transform Baltimore into a legitimate contender. The Ravens' Super Bowl odds are also improving with the potential of this roster upgrade, especially as they look to tighten up their defense and capitalize on their offensive weapons. And let's not forget, Bosa's postseason record is impressive. 10 sacks in his career during the playoffs, which shows he's a big-game player. His EPA in cold-weather games and his ability to perform under pressure make him a perfect fit for the playoff environment. If Baltimore manages to land him, it would send a clear message to the rest of the league that they're all in, ready to contend now and in the future. The front seven would be a nightmare for any quarterback, and with the offense clicking, this could be the start of a new era for Ravens football, one where the defense sets the tone week in and week out. Of course, there are some skeptics. The 49ers are cautious about parting ways with Bosa because of his injury history and the fact that he's a cornerstone of their defense. They might see the trade as a necessary step for their rebuild, but it's a gamble. For Baltimore, though, this is an opportunity to seize the moment. If they can swing this deal, it would be a statement of intent, a sign that the Ravens are ready to take the next step and aim for another Super Bowl victory. With a strong front that includes Bosa, the team's chances of tightening up their defense, creating more turnovers, and shutting down some of the league's best offenses skyrocket. Looking ahead, this move could do more than just improve their odds for this season. It could set the foundation for a dominant defense for years to come. The Ravens have often been built on a tough, physical defense, and adding Bosa would reinforce that identity. It would also send a message to the rest of the AFC that Baltimore isn't just a team trying to make the playoffs. They're a team gunning for the top, ready to dominate and leave their mark on the league. In the end, all eyes are on the trade deadline, and Ravens fans are eager to see if this story will unfold exactly as some insiders suggest. If Baltimore pulls the trigger and lands Bosa, the entire AFC landscape will shift. The Ravens would instantly jump into the conversation as a real Super Bowl contender, with a defense capable of wreaking havoc and a roster that's deep and talented enough to make a serious run. It's a move that could define this franchise's future, and I know all of you are just as excited as I am to see how it plays out. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Baltimore Ravens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Ravens fans, what do you think about all this? Would you be hyped if Baltimore managed to pull off a trade for Nick Bosa? How do you see him fitting into this defense, and what kind of impact do you expect him to have? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to hear your take. This is the kind of move that could shape the future of the franchise, and your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news. Let's keep the passion alive and get ready for what could be an unforgettable ride ahead.